This morning, what we have the opportunity to do is introduce to all of you someone who was on here a couple of weeks ago, came back here to finish up the call and share with us the value that he was sharing earlier. This individual, his name is Mr. Randy Hedge. He's a senior vice president in ACN. He just came on board with ACN just a short period of time ago. He owns multiple businesses. He has 30 years experience in network marketing. He built check this out, he built a global organization starting in a town of less than 4,000 people in Arkansas. He's happily married. He's a father of 4 and a grandfather of 3. And I'm so excited to be able to introduce to all of you top producing senior vice president, the Cowboy, Mr. Randy Hedge. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the call.
Well, good morning, Julian. Thank you for having me. Wow, what an impressive list of names to read off. You know, I would butcher every one of those, but I've got to, I got to admit, guys, it's impressive, the commitment to get on here and plug in, because I promise you that is a big part of winning and being successful in our business. It's an honor to do this call. Mr. Al Thomas has been one of my heroes, my mentors, one of the legends in the industry. And when he asked me to join y'all, I was absolutely thrilled. I started out with a little company called Excel Communications about the same time ACN started. That's where I met Mr. Thomas. Even though I've been doing this a long time, folks, I've only been with 2 companies. When Excel ended, I actually thought my pyramid career was over. I didn't think I was going to do any more multi-level. And my best friend just wouldn't give up on me. He kept telling me about an energy company coming out of Texas where we could get paid residual on people's electric bills. And even though I didn't live in Texas, I still don't. Understand, I built my whole business from DeQueen, Arkansas. Folks, that's where front teeth are optional. We don't get Monday Night Football till Wednesday afternoon. Some of you aren't getting the picture. The home is mobile. The 4 cars out front ain't. When your dad and your mom get a divorce, you still call him uncle. I think you get the idea. That's where I live. And I built my whole business from DeQueen, working at part-time, going to Texas. And then as we expanded, that company was a true blessing. Made a lot of money, climbed to the top of it as well. And then ACN purchased Connect, Stream, Ignite, whichever name you want to use for them as they transition through all of those. And now I've been with ACN since June. And I can tell you, I'm home. I can't believe it's taken me 30 years to get here, but it's exciting what we have. And quite honestly, the opportunity just keeps getting better. For those of you who are in Oklahoma City, you know that with the announcements about the IBO savings and shopping plan and the customer appreciation savings and shoppings is coming. That's exciting. About the 5G in-home hotspots, so you can have the ability to cut those wires and phone lines, is very exciting. And the impact health savings, I'm telling you guys, I couldn't be more excited. That is going to be absolutely huge. Give you an example. Marcy and I went and quoted ourselves. We're on Blue Cross and Blue Shield, just the 2 of us. And unfortunately, through the health marketplace, you are charged based on your income. The more you make, the more you pay. So Marcy and I were maxed out. We were paying almost $1,800 a month for the 2 of us. That's just 2 people on a Blue Cross and Blue Shield plan. We had a $2,500 deductible per person. We've quoted it with the ACN Impact Health Sharing, which is supposed to start in mid-March. And guys, it cut our premium from $1,800 a month down to $700. That's impressive. If you can save folks over $1,100 a month, that's a sexy product. That product will have legs of its own and it will build your business. And what you need to understand, based on Impact's own numbers of $140 commissionable revenue, that's their average commissionable revenue right now at Impact. In your 5 levels, you make 4%. That means every single impact customer that comes in your first 5 levels is worth on an average of $5.60 per month. Guys, I made millions on 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents. The most I've ever earned per any single customer was $2. And if you average all my customers out over the last 16 years, I think it was about $1.60. So to go from $1.60 to $5.60, I'm pumped. I'm pumped, to say the least. So that's kind of the summary for me. I hope it makes sense for you, the numbers. I know I ran through them quick. Kind of what I want to do this morning is tell you what's helped me build my business. When I first saw multi-level marketing, when I saw the business plan and how you promote through it and the different bonuses, and there's a lot of numbers involved. Can we agree with that? You know what, you get this many customers, you get this many customer getters, and then they get, and I was as confused as a calf looking at a new gate. Some of y'all are confused now. Y'all didn't get that analogy. You're city people. Here, you'll understand this. I was as confused as a newborn at Hooters. How about that? I knew what I was looking at. I knew I wanted some. I just know how to get there. I could not explain all those charts and numbers and promotions. And so I came up with a very, very simple analogy that quite honestly has made me millions and millions. I'm going to share it with you this morning. Are you ready? If you are, give me the international sign for yes. I know I can't hear you, but I can see you. All right. I call customers eggs. Eggs. Everywhere you look, there's eggs laying around free for the taking. Cell phones are eggs. Electric bills are eggs. Natural gas bills are eggs. Internet bills are eggs. Pretty soon, health sharing will be an egg. All the services we offer to our friends and family to help them save a little money, I call eggs. If you understand, give me an up and down. For $200, this company gives you a basket. Your job is to go put a few eggs in the basket. You gather a few customers yourself that want to use the service and save money. Then you go get you some chickens. Chickens are IBOs. Chickens are people that want to make money. You go get you some chickens, because what happens, those chickens lay eggs. And they hatch other chickens that lay eggs, that hatch other chickens that lay eggs. Guys, if you got enough chickens, you can have all the eggs you want. Now, I know this is a very advanced training. It's very complicated. Now, here's the analogy. All of us would like to get paid on 10,000 people's services every month. Yes? Doesn't matter. Cell phone, electric bill, internet, ID seal, whatever we offer, we would love to have 10,000 customers we get paid on each month. But we instinctively understand there's not a basket big enough to hold 10,000 eggs. And if there was, you don't have time to go around collecting them. You don't know that many people. But you know what you can do? You can get a handful of customers to qualify your business, and then you teach others. That's how I got thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of customers living in a state where the majority of the services don't work. You see, where I live, I still can't be an electric customer. I still can't use the cell phone here simply because of the geographical locations. But it hasn't kept me from building a business and watching it grow. So I hope the chicken and egg analogy makes sense to you. Oh, one other very important part. Julian, even if the chicken dies, what we've learned is the egg is still there paying that bill every month. They're still using that internet. They're still calling on that cell phone. They're still paying that electric bill. You see, chickens come and go, guys. I promise you, people quit. That's what they do. They're good at it. They quit going to church. They quit going to the gym. They quit marriages. They quit. But it doesn't affect your business, because whatever customers, whatever eggs they've brought to you, because you've qualified your position, you're still getting paid on. Chickens and eggs. It's made me a lot of money. At this point, Julian, I'd like you to give me a little direction, what you want to talk about. Maybe there's some questions, maybe some way I can help. The one thing I do promise you, as you build your business, you're going to have disappointments. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to get frustrated. But I will submit to you, It beats a job. It beats having to check into that 9 to 5 and letting someone else decide what you're worth, when you promote, how much you make. There's going to be frustration. There's going to be pain, but it's worth it, because for once you're in control of your life, and the people that pay the price, they can enjoy that freedom. Julian, what would you like us to talk about, or does the group have questions for us?
Actually, yeah, there are a few questions, and I think that is brilliant because it's simple. It's chicken and eggs, and it's true. And we're the only network marketing company that I know that has it that way, and we're blessed to be able to have it that way. So I appreciate you sharing that. One of the questions we have from Mr. Winston Herbert, he asks, how did you overcome the challenge of not being able to use most of the services? What did you do, or what did you say when people brought this up as an objection for you?
Excellent. So I followed a really simple system, and we'll use the chicken and egg analogy. Okay. When I signed up, I knew I needed 5 eggs, right? I had to get 5 eggs to get that first bonus. And so I just started to talking to people I knew in Texas, friends, family, people I'd met through my business. And I just simply said, hey, I don't know if this is any good or not. I don't know if I can save you some money. Just try my electric bill. We'll compare your first month's bill with me to your last month's bill with whoever. If it ain't better, you can switch back. If you lost money, I personally will make it right. You see, what that did is that alleviated for me all the rate questions and all that, because we didn't know. And I still teach that favor method, right? Hey, I need a favor. Would you try my service? For the majority of the people, it's a little better deal. So they try it, they see that the electricity still works, the cell phone coverage is better, whatever service we use, and they stay with me. But all I did was I went out and I scraped, I begged, I borrowed, I did whatever I had to get those 5 services, those 5 eggs as quick as I could. And after that, I simply started talking to people about, hey, do you keep your options open for making extra income? And I would talk to people in Texas. I did talk to some folks around here locally that knew people in Texas and told them, hey, you can do it with me. It doesn't work here, but you know people in Texas, because I understand that's how it just began, right? And even with my ACN business since June, I've kind of struggled with that because of where we live geographically. We can't get the internet service. We can't get the cell phone service to work. We can't do electricity or natural gas. We do use ID Seal very successfully. We do certainly promote the Dish and Direct, being in rural community, and that's a good product for us. But after I got those 5 eggs, all I did was talk to people about being a chicken, about making money. After they saw the business, after I set them down and gave them all the information, if they didn't want to do it, I would ask them to at least support me and be my customer, become an egg. And a lot of them thought that they were cheating the deal, right? They saved $200. So now they'll just use my service. And that's how I picked up my extra customer points. Now understand, depending on where you're at in the business, you need somewhere between 15, 20 to 75 points, depending on your promotion level. So let's just round it up and say we all need 80 points, which is about 40 or 50 eggs. I call my customers every 2 or 3 months and I tell them, listen, because you're my customer, I get paid on thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. I'm going to do it till you smile, Julian. Thousands and thousands. There you go. I get paid on thousands of customers every month because you support me and you're my customer. If you ever leave me, I'm going to come burn your house down. So I let them know. Oh, obviously I don't say that. I tell them I'll send somebody to burn their house down. Obviously I let them know how important it is, them being my customer, supporting my business. You see, a lot of times, because they're just seeing a little savings, 10, 20, 30 bucks. Now, I do think with Impact Health Sharing, they're going to see a lot of savings. Guys, if you haven't went to the Impact Health Sharing website and checked it out, if you haven't watched the preview, the recap of what they announced in Oklahoma City, you need to get plugged in. That's going to be a huge product. I'm very excited because it works here. You know, geographically, it's not an issue. So what I did is I talked to people I knew, and then I would simply ask for referrals. Guys, that's the key. Who do you know that is money motivated? Who do you know that's looking for residual income? Who do you know that would like some mailbox money? Who do you know that's coachable, hardworking, and tenacious? You see, I wouldn't ask them if they were. And 9 out of 10 times they would go, yeah, me, right? It's kind of like if you have a half-eaten candy bar. You're around your friends and family. They know you don't have any really bad communicable diseases. And you take that candy bar and you say, hey, do you want to eat this, John? John always goes, oh, no, because you've ate part of it, right? You see, you're trying to give it to him directly. 9 out of 10 times he's going to say no. But in that same group of people sitting around and say, hey, I've only ate half of this. Does anybody want the rest? Because you didn't specifically try to put it on one person, they'll all start fighting over it. I want it. Yeah, give it to me. You know, now John's going to pinch off the piece where you bid on it and threw that away, and he'll eat the rest. But understand, guys, there's a lesson in that. Ask them, who do you know that's money motivated and wants to change their life? I'm looking for someone to mentor and work with. Wow. They'll always, 99% of the time, say, well, me. So it is a challenge, but I'll be honest with you, I think it's also a blessing building my business here from Arkansas, because my team knew that I was kind of an absentee father, right? I could come help you once a week or once a month with Zooms. Obviously, I'm a lot more accessible now, but what they understood is they had to stand up on their own. They had to learn to be their own leader. You see, guys, if you're waiting for your upline or your sponsor to bait your hook, you're missing a lot of fish. You need to be able to learn to fish for yourself, to bait your own hook, to throw it out there, and to do that PBZ, to do that one-on-one, to explain the business. And so I think me being a remote sponsor, me not living right beside them, being far away. I mean, look, guys, my closest IBO is 3.5 hours away. My closest customer is 3.5 hours away. Now, I am signing up a new IBO in D Queen, Arkansas today. She owns a furniture store. We feel like that the impact health sharing is going to be a great tool for her to build her business. And so I'm excited to build local. But I'm going to tell you right now, I showed it to her via Zoom. Even though we're in the same town, we've got a great relationship. We know each other, but it was so much easier to show the slides, to explain the business Zoom. So I'll use that. If you're still meeting people one-on-one to explain the business, and look, if it's your brother-in-law or next door neighbor, that makes sense because of proximity, right? But I'm telling you, you can be so much more effective by using these Zoom meetings and doing PBZs. And you need to get where you can do it on your own and people aren't baiting your hook for you. And what Zoom does, we don't use line and hooks anymore with Zoom. It's a big old net. And all you do is troll around and it just grabs all those fish that are swimming up to it to get a look at it. Zoom, PBZs, personal business Zooms, are the way to go, no doubt. And that's helped me. But I actually didn't discover that till just a few months ago. So I built mine the old hard fashioned way. I'd get in a pickup and drive for 3 hours. And I'd get out and I'd walk up and talk to them, go, chickens and eggs, chickens and eggs. And believe it or not, a few of them got in. What's our next question, Mr. Julian?
Next question is actually related to that, the last one, the way you answered it. Natasha, one of the regional directors, she wanted to ask you, you're signing up this new lady. How much do you support your new people as a senior vice president?
It's a great question. Every person you sponsor personally, you need to treat them like they're a brand new infant. They're your baby. You cuddle them, you protect them. Look, let's use the baby analogy. When a baby's born, they don't even know their own name till you tell them. And you got to tell them their name multiple times before they are able to say it themselves. Let's relate that to a brand new personally sponsored IBO. They don't have a clue what they just joined. They don't even understand what it is. They can't remember the name of ACN. They certainly don't know what a ID seal or a Zoom customer or a Flash customer is. It's all new terminology to them. So when you personally sponsor that brand new IBO, you are the parent. It would be criminal to take a new baby and say, okay, you're born, and just throw them out there and say, go get them. It's just as criminal to take a new IBO and throw them out. Now, hear me. I will never build their business for them. Never. But I will build it with them as long as they want me to. I have no problem helping, mentoring, nurturing, teaching, walking side by side with them. My goal is for them to develop, to mature, to grow enough that they don't need me for the little mundane tasks. And then they don't need me for the bigger tasks. I'll go back to my child analogy. If you're still tying your 13-year-old son's shoes, you're not doing him a favor. Look, if he ain't bright enough to tie his own shoes at 13, go buy him some cowboy boots or rubber boots he can just slip on, maybe some flip-flops or sandals. But you can't be tying a 13, 14-year-old kid's shoes. He will never be independent. So the maturity process is key as to when I start expecting them to do some of their own, whether it's inviting, presenting, training. And it's really not based on the pen level. You know, everybody wants to say, well, once you become an RC, once you're a regional coordinator, once you're a RD, the title, listen, I've got some RVPs that still need my help. And I've got some ETLs that I'm just watching them run. So the maturity level is based on them, not so much a title or if we equate it to the child analogy, the age, right? Some kids start walking at 2. They tell me I didn't walk till I was about 7 years old. So I was kind of a slow learner. Didn't start talking till I was 9 and I hadn't shut up since. So these people are going like, this guy really makes money. Seriously, is this for real? Yeah, guys, understand that's my appeal. That's why people like me. When I get done, you can turn to your team members and your new IBOs and say, hey, I just saw a guy on a Zoom this morning, and if Jethro can do it, we're going to be rich. If this clown can make money, we can all do this. And I understand that's my job. I'm kind of like the mule at the Kentucky Derby. You can tell by looking that mule don't belong there, but he makes some other racehorses and studs look good. The fact that I just got there is kind of a testimony to being persistent and consistent. That's 2 things you got to do, persistent and consistent. So when I get a brand new IBO, I help them do every single thing. I mean, I'm sitting there with them either via Zoom as they're enrolling, going through, clicking on the right place to become an IBO. We then help them go and set up their website and customize it, put in their name and their phone number and their picture. And then with our system, we have them purchase or sell those first 2 ID seals to get themselves qualified and triggered. If they take the annual option, they now have 16 points. When they get their first chicken that lays 2 of those double yolk ostrich eggs, that's what I call ID seal. They're them big old eggs. That's 16 points for their new IBO. Guess what? You just created an ETL. So we go through the process of getting their website set up. We go through the process of then helping them buy their ID seal for themselves or sell it to whoever wants it. They need 2 of them. They understand coming in, you have to have 2 annual ID seals if I'm going to work with you here. And let me be very careful here, guys. This is just my system. Okay. This is just what I do simply because a lot of the services aren't available here. And we want to get them qualified as quick as we can. And then they'll go start talking to people about the other services in areas where they are available. With all of our services now, I think our closest market's about an hour away in Texarkana, Arkansas. We use the Flash Mobile down there. And then Sulphur Springs, Arkansas, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. We can do energy there. So they usually have a few contacts there, but I have them get those, have them sign up, get their ID seal. And then this is very important. I stay with them until they get the email about ID seal and have them authenticate or activate the ID seal. Now, once they've done that, They've been through the process. I've been there with them, holding their hand. They understand it. And to be honest, when they sign up their first IBO, when that new chicken gets their next chicken, I'm going to help them on that too, because they've only been through it once. So in the beginning, just like with a newborn, just like with an infant, you're very involved. You got to do almost everything with them. I won't do it for them, but I'll do it with them. As they mature and grow, I hope that they become more independent and they're able to go out on their own. Well, that is a long answer for a simple question. I'm sorry.
No, that was perfect. They wanted details and they asked that and you said it while they were asking again. So I appreciate that. We do have 2 more questions. And they're like multi ones. Chris King, he's one of the regional directors out of Fresno, California. He said, what is the key factor, genetic makeup of a go-getter and versus a quitter? He said, both are human, both bleed red, but how do you identify the difference?
Man, what a great question. I wish I could. You know, you can't tell by looking at a frog if he's going to jump or not. Now, all frogs have the ability to jump. It's innate to them. But you just can't look and say, yeah, he's a jumper, he's lazy. Now, obviously, the big frog, if he wants to jump, can jump further. But if the big frog is lazy and won't jump, then I'll take 10 of them little frogs that'll hop all the way to the bank. My point is, guys, I don't believe you find leaders. I think they find you. I don't believe you develop leaders. I think you polish and promote and help them see what they have potentially in them. So my theory is I can't identify who will and who won't. I wish I could. Now, there are some key factors, right? If they've done network marketing before and had a little success, I definitely want to talk to them, because our pyramid is much better than anything out there. I'm telling you right now, guys, there is nothing that compares via comp plan, via services. I mean, it just makes common sense, right? If you can get paid on people's life essential services, I mean, you don't have to be head cashier at IHOP to know that's a good deal. You don't have to have a financial degree to go, wow, if I could get paid on people's electric bills or an alternative to health insurance, I want some of that. So if they've done network marketing, I'm interested in them. If they've owned their own business, if they're entrepreneur minded, I'm interested in them. But here's what I've learned. You never know who is going to lead you to that next promotion. So I treat them all as superstars until they prove me different. In my business, I have not really sponsored that many superstars. Usually the way it goes is I sponsored a dud, who sponsored a dud, who sponsored a dud, who sponsored a dud, who sponsored a full-blown, fire-breathing, world-conquering stud. They're out there. And so what I do is I just drive down through my business. I just keep talking to people till I find somebody that's interested. Now, let me tell you how I identify them pretty quickly. If they're calling me instead of me having to call them, that's number one. If I'm seeing them plug in on the Zooms and the trainings without me having to tell them, that's number two. And if they start showing the business on their own, after a little bit of training, a little bit of support, they start doing their own PBZs. Those are the 3 things I look for, right? They reach out to me. I don't have to beg them. I don't have to call them. They plug into all of our events, our meetings, our trainings, and they're out there actively talking to people, explaining the business. That's the person I'm going to take and work with and polish. Now, when you find one of those people, you can usually promote them to ETL and RC rather quickly. And you want to do that fast, and here's why. The leader sets the pace for the pack. The lead dog, the rest of them try to keep up. So I say, look, we got to get you to ETL in your first day, your first 2 days. We got to get you to RC in your first week, 2 weeks. And I think those are fair expectations if they're going to be a runner, if they're going to be a worker. But guess what that does? That tells their team, because they're going to say, they're going to be, hey, I made ETL in 2.5 days. I made RC in 34 days, whatever it is. Well, guess what? Every person joins their team. They want to beat that 2.5 days. They want to beat that 34 days. So what you'll find is a stud begets a stud, begets a stud, begets a stud. Y'all understand the word beget, right? It comes from the Bible. Look, you ain't got to do all the begetting. You just start the begetting. But they do like to beget thereafter. It will grow. And that's what it's like. It's that generational growth. So I wish I could identify them. I wish I could say this one's a stud, this one's a dud. I treat them all the same, but I watch what they're doing, not what they're saying. I'm gonna say that again. That's important. I watch what they're doing, not what they're saying. You see, we judge other people by their results. We judge ourselves by our intentions. So many people say, well, I intended to get on the Zoom. I intended to do the leadership. So they consider themselves still active. Guys, it's not what you intended to do. It's what you actually did that counts. So when they're calling me, when they're plugging into our trainings and our meetings, and when they are showing the business, I consider that one of the key people I want to work with. I can fix everything else. I tell people every day, if you're coachable, willing to work, and don't quit. That's all I need. I need you to be coachable, willing to work, and don't quit. I don't care if we're talking to your parole officer. I don't care if you've never done one of these. If you're 18, 80, blind, bow-legged, or crazy, if you got those three, I'll work with you.
Mr. Hedge, I appreciate you so much. And I had to say something. You said something so calm and cool, and I don't want it. I don't want it to be missed because it's powerful. When you were talking about how you get started and how you focus on those 5 eggs, but then we have about 40 that you're going to need. And I hope you guys caught. He said most people will think that they avoided they cheated it by becoming a customer. So he's given that 2-door option, saying, hey, take a look at the business. But if it's a no, you're becoming my customer, and they're directed that way because they feel that they're avoiding the $200 payment. That was priceless. So I appreciate you sharing that. That was huge for me, and I hope everyone caught that. And just everything that you shared this morning, and keeping it simple, and it just goes to show why you've been able to build such a massive organization all around the world, and the humility and the ability to remain humble and someone that's easy to talk to, but can teach you how to do something that is massive by keeping it super simple. So I really do appreciate that as a business owner, and I thank you for hopping on with us again to do our extended version of meeting with you and really talking about winning with ACN. So in closing, is there anything that you would love to share with the team before we get going?
So when it is someone that I have a personal relationship with, okay, they know me, I know them. It's a cousin, it's an ex-brother-in-law, it's the guy that details my car, it's the lady I buy furniture from, it's my accountant, whatever. I'm very forceful about them looking. Matter of fact, I simply say this: I don't care if you do it or not, but you're going to look, because you ain't going to be mad at me that I got rich again and you didn't. I'm especially doing that now here in D-Queen with this impact health sharing, because it works here, right? It's going to have great bonus points: 2 for individual plan, 4 for husband and wife, and 6 for a family. And I've already shared with you, it's very, very cost effective. Now, obviously it doesn't work for everyone, but for the people it works for, it works great. I mean, let's be honest. You can't sell a guy with no feet any shoes. He don't need them. But if he's got feet, we got the best shoes out there, I promise you. So I called my friends up. I said, look, I don't care if you do it or not. We will still be friends if you don't want to join my pyramid. But you have to look before you say no. And I'll prove my point. Julian, if I offered you $1 million to jump out of an airplane without a parachute, would you do it? Y'all see him shake his head no? Here's the problem, Julian. You don't know all the information. The airplane's still sitting on the ground. You see, they always say no because they don't know all the information. So if I have a personal relationship with you, you don't have a choice but to look at this. It's not optional. You're going to sit down and look at my business. You're going to look at the numbers and you're going to tell me no. I'm going to make you say no. If you hem-hawing around and say, I got to pray about it. I need to call Miss Cleo, my psychic, and see if I should do this. Whatever your excuse, I say, great. I'll call you tomorrow, 24 hours. If you can't pray it through in 24 hours, you need more help than I can give you. If you can't make a $200 decision in 24 hours, I don't know I can help you. So I'm very forceful about them looking. And then I want them to say no. If they're not going to say yes, I want them to say no. It's the maybes that kill you. And once I push them to a no, this is going to make you millions, guys. Hear me. I'm forceful. I make them look. I get a yes or a no as quick as I can. I don't let them drag me along. And then I simply say this, Julian, I appreciate you looking at my business like I asked you to. You said it's not a fit for you. The time's not right. I respect that. I will never ask you to join my business again. But would it be okay if I called you, say, every month or so and kind of let you know how it's going for me? I'd kind of like you to be my accountability partner. I'm not going to quit. And I feel like if I have to tell you how it's going 30 days from now, that'll make me stay in the game. Would you like to know how it's going for me? You see him nod his head, yes. They never say no. You know why? They don't think you're going to make it 30 days. They believe you're going to quit. So here's what you do. You put their name in your calendar on your phone, every 30-day reminder. The first couple of times I call them, I make sure they can't answer. I don't want to talk to them. I just want to leave a voicemail. 2 o'clock in the morning. Woohoo, Julian, I got some checks, baby. I am rocking. This thing is good. Talk to you next month. And I hang up. 30 days later. Hey, Julian, I just promoted to what they call RC. I don't know what that means. I think it's real cash, baby, but I'm excited. I hang up. 30 days later. Hey, Julian, man, this pig's tough. You know, I thought I'd already be regional director by now, and I ain't. I got people quitting and I'm frustrated. But you know what? I ain't quitting. Here's my point, guys. You don't have to embellish. You don't have to be successful every time you call. Matter of fact, a lot of my calls have been, woo, hey, Sandy, guess what? I've got a product that works with my pyramid for D Queen. You ready to get rich? That's actually the way I presented it to my good friend. Her name is Sandy Huntsberger. We've been on the school board together for 28 years. She owns a furniture store. She's always known what I've done, but she didn't really think she could do it. When I told her I have something you can do it here with, now she's so excited because all the people in her furniture store association, all the different business owners that own furniture stores like her, they need health insurance. And people ain't buying as much furniture during the pandemic. They might want to be a chicken too. So she's real excited. You just drip on them. When things change, you just tell them about it. Business is good, tell them. Business is bad, tell them. Hey, we just got a new service. It's going to revolutionize health insurance. What'll happen is, guys, because you're dripping on them, because you're telling them about your experience, their boss just threatened to fire them, or they've doubled their territory, which means they're gone from home 3 times as much. You see, they don't say yes or no because of you or because of the business. They say yes or no because of the time in their life. So that would be my closing deal. Beg, blackmail, hammer them till they see it, and then put them in a follow-up system and just drip on them.